Everyone, welcome. All right, it looks like mostly everyone will, I'm sure people will straggle in the next few minutes. So welcome everyone. I wanted to make sure, first of all, that everyone was able to access the course okay and they're able to get started. Has anybody had trouble so far? If you have, feel free to unmute yourself. Kristen, you're having trouble?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I got the Zoom link and I got the course curriculum, but I don't have any access to classes yet. Am I supposed to?
Yes, let me take some notes here.
I just got the one email from you this evening.
Okay, so let me then make a couple notes here so I know when we leave here I can follow up and make sure everyone has what they need. Kristen. Okay, so I will email you as soon as we're done here.
Okay, thank you.
In the meantime, check your junk mail because sometimes when I BCC everyone when I send all these emails, it might have gone in there. But I'll make sure to get you what you need.
I didn't receive anything other than this one email that you sent today either.
Okay.
So if you've sent anything else.
Perfect. Anyone else having trouble getting into Teachable? Okay. So the two of you, I will email you both after we're done tonight and then get you what you need to get.
Thank you.
If anyone else is having trouble, feel free to mute yourself and let me know. I'll make sure to get you what you need. And so everyone else is okay with Teachable. They started, they can see the schedule. They can see the design practicum. I did update the schedule. I realized it was from the November class was still on there. So I updated it to this class. And it's sort of a sample of what you can follow because there's a lot of stuff to cover in a month and a half. So you can follow along with that. We also have some live sessions with the speakers that are scheduled throughout. So you can join us then if you want as well. It's optional, you don't have to, but it's just, an opportunity to come and talk to the speakers and ask them questions, bring a project you're working on to ask them about, or to just clarify whatever, that might need to be clarified that you didn't understand in the lecture. So those are all on the course schedule as well. And I had a few questions about accessing different documents. In the original email that was sent out a while ago has a link to a Dropbox with all the schedule, design practicum. It has PowerPoint presentations, and so I'll resend that tonight to everyone. And just make sure you're checking your junk mail as well, because I BCC everyone. It gets caught in junk mail. Let's see. Here. Does anyone have any questions so far about how the course is? I'm sort of just hanging out here, answering questions. I have a few things I want to go over.
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Wednesday night session is going to be recorded. If people aren't able to go.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to record all the sessions, the live sessions. So if you miss it, you can rewatch it. The only time I don't record it is if there's like two people that show up, we don't really talk about anything that will be helpful. That's happened a couple of times, but in general, I do record everything and then send that out to you guys in like a couple days following, whenever I can get it up, get it processed and edited and up So if you have to miss anything, don't worry. And again, the live sessions aren't mandatory, but certainly, you know, if you want to join us, please do. And if you can't, then we'll record it.
Thank you.
No problem. The other thing I wanted to sort of go over was the design practicum. So to pass the class, you have to submit, you have to finish the course. Oh, before I do that, you'll notice in the schedule, some of the live sessions for the speakers are quite early, before you will have had a chance to even get to the section their section they're talking about. So what I've done is I've disabled, you used to not be able to skip, you know, to different lectures. You had to go one by one by one. So I've disabled that. And so now let's say, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I think next week we have someone and their talk isn't, you know, the suggested schedule isn't until later on this month. So now you can sort of skip ahead and watch that lecture ahead of time. So if you wanted to join the live session, you can go ahead and watch the lecture and then get back to your regular schedule. So that's something new you can do. I do suggest sort of going, you know, one by one by one, but if you need to skip ahead and watch something ahead of time, that's fine too. And as for the design practicum, so the only two requirements for the course is, you know, going through all the lectures, completing the lectures, and then submitting a design practicum. That's due March 15th, and I've updated that as well in the course on Teachable, and so you can look at that. The idea is that the rubric's there, but the idea is that you put into practice sort of what you're learning, put in the ideas of the course into a design, and we sort of give you a sort of generic design to work with. You definitely don't have to use that. We've had people in the past use like their own properties or use a property they're already working on that they'd love to just do whatever they want with, or a completely made up property. The idea is, you know, just use what you're learning in the class and apply it to a design. And you don't have to use any sort of fancy design software. You can even just hand sketch it if you need. The main part is that, and then also a write-up of your process, you know, what you were thinking, sort of explain to us the design and what the plan is. So that's two parts. We do have a design critique at the end. So we haven't scheduled that yet, but that'll be the second half of March. So it's due March 15th, and we'll probably schedule out a few different sessions where you can come, and this is optional too, you don't have to, but you can come and we kind of go through your work, and you kind of explain to us in 5 minutes or so what the idea was, what the, you know, what you were thinking, and then we go over it about what's good about it, what needs work, and then if it's something that you need to turn around and fix, you can do that quickly, and then turn it back in. The only one I've had so far that I've had to turn back, you know, return to the person to fix, was someone was doing a site out in Hawaii, and it was a really good site, but he had strawberry guava planted, and strawberry guava is like the most invasive plant in Hawaii, and so he had that planted all over the property, and so I had to turn it back into him and say, okay, remove this, and then you can pass. But other than that, is pretty, you know, it's pretty open-ended. I have a few examples here I was going to show everyone, just so you don't feel intimidated. Like there's all kinds of stuff you can turn in. So just give me a second while I look through some of these examples, and I'll pull my screen up. And these are also in your Dropbox as well. In the meantime, while I'm looking for this, feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question or a comment.
I was just curious about if, and I know this is like kind of a broad question probably, but if anybody can recommend any design software that's like not super expensive. I mean, I've been looking online And it's just, you know, I have no idea like what's good, what's not good. Open to suggestions.
Yeah, if anyone knows of anything, feel free to put it in the chat. I would suggest using, you know, what if you have, what do you have now? What do you, anything on your computer?
No, I mean, I have basic things on my computer, like, you know, I mean, I don't have any design software though, so
Okay.
to speak of. Yeah.
So you definitely don't need design software at all. I'm going to show a couple examples here in 1 second. So this person actually used PowerPoint, and where are you guys? So she did this. It's sort of a big big-ish presentation about soundscapes. So she did a little background on what soundscape is. She did an analysis of the site. I think she actually did a site of one of her clients. So she did a little analysis. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? There we go. And she did some design objectives. And just a little background about what sort of approaches she was going to do. And she was coming at this as if she was pitching to a client. You know, this actually might have been a pitch to her client. I'm not sure. So she had some plant recommendations. And this is one of the intense examples. Like, you definitely don't have to go this far. And so you can see here, she didn't use any design software. She just got like a printout and sort of sketched around this. This is really, really in depth, you know, the different zones of plants you're using. You don't have to do this. She had some organic practices that she was going to do on the property. I think that's it. So that's one example. And she just used PowerPoint. And then again, she just drew out her design. So let me open up another. Let me close that first. Let me open up another example here. Okay, so this person was very like word heavy, which is fine. He was doing a site for a job that he was doing already, but he didn't have the funds or resources to do everything he wanted to do. So this was basically a design if he had the funding he wanted to. So you have a little project description here. I think this is his business, but he had client objectives, additional objectives, client priorities in order of importance. And then he had site characteristics. This was the original site plan that he just had. You know, what the current practices of the site are, his recommended solutions. And again, this is very, very detailed. You don't have to go this detailed. He has a reasoning for each objective. And so again, not using any design software, he just had a photo of the site and then a photo of what he wanted to put there, right? So no design software used, just, you know, an idea of what he was going to do to stop the erosion. Same thing here, slope roadside area. some photos of the current site, and then things he wanted to do. So make a path here, and again, just like cutting and pasting ideas of what he wanted. So he didn't have any design experience online, at least. Then he goes through these a lot. And so that's another example. He sort of explained everything he was doing, and without creating an actual design, he went through each of his objectives about what he wanted to do, what he was going to do, and the reasoning why. So that's a good example there. Let me open up one more sort of. Okay, so this is another example of someone who used, I believe they used an existing client. So if we go down here, so she's giving us photographs of the property, about the owner. This is the original survey, I believe. So just pointing out, what she wanted to do where. And then she probably did use a design software for this, but this certainly can be hand-drawn. Some of the plants she wanted to plant. Some of the reasoning why she wanted to plant moss. Kind of goes through it like that. So these are, I believe these are hand drawn for her. But let me show you a quick example of someone without in design experience. Okay, so here's an interesting one. Find you guys again. So this is a gentleman named Tom, and he was tasked with creating. He had to build a parking lot on a park, and so he had to do some tree removal. He had to do, he had to destroy some vegetation to make this parking lot. So he used that project in his work to try to make it as sustainable as possible using best practices from the organic land care, from the standards for organic land care. So he has a nice little description of the project and their goals. He did a little site analysis of the soil. He has a plan for planting, a plan for removing. And then, this was a design. He's nothing, no design software. I think he just did it on, I don't know if he did it on Word or something. So he has, the plants he wants to plant, and there's a parking area and the turnaround that he has to design. He has to plan. So definitely don't need like a crazy design. I love to see it. Do it if you can. But if you don't have the resources for it, if you don't have the technology available to you, then there are other options as well. So does anybody have questions about? And this is sort of like a pass-fail thing. So you have to meet. There's a couple criteria on the rubric that you have to do, but other than that, it's more of a pass-fail as far as that's concerned. And again, if there's something that is, egregious, that I'll just send it back to you and say, this is why I couldn't accept it. Fix these things, and then we'll re-accept it. Anybody have any questions about that so far? I know it's a little vague, but it's sort of supposed to be. No, I'm just going through all the faces to see if there's
So, so this is a self-study, so can you explain the process a little bit? Do we have to show up at certain things? I mean, I just would love, it would be great to have a little bit more of an overview of how the course works.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Laura. I think you're one of the people that didn't have that email. So this is a self-paced virtual course, and so eventually, hopefully this evening, you'll be able to get into it. It's on a program called Teachable. So you'll move through these recorded lectures. I can't remember how many there are. You'll move through the recorded lectures between now and March 15th at your own pace. Someone told me they're almost done with it already. I sent out the link earlier and they just sort of blew through it, which is fine. But you move at your own pace. And at the end of each lecture, there's a little quiz. You have like 5 chances to pass it. If you don't get in 5 chances, then just you'll have to reset it. You have to just call me. So you move through that course. It's self-paced. There are some live sessions with some of the instructors. Each instructor will have one live session where you can come on and, it's a chat hour. Come on, ask any questions, talk about a project you're working on, talk about, ask their suggestions about whatever it is you have in your mind, or just chat. Sometimes we just have a nice chat for an hour. So those are sprinkled throughout the month and a half. At the end, you'll turn in your design practicum. And then from there, you will become if you would like. So I should say, if you're not interested in becoming accredited, becoming an accredited organic land care professional, then you don't need to do the practicum. If you're just here for the knowledge, that's fine. You don't need to do practicum. But if you want to get that credential, then you'll do the practicum. And then from there, we send you a certificate. Usually it takes about a month just because the printer is really slow nowadays. But from there, you will do, you'll be an AOLCP, an accredited organic land care professional. And you can use that acronym AOLCP in your professional work. Many people do. And that it says that, there are some restrictions to it, but that basically says that while I'm offering organic services, you're abiding by a set of standards called the NOFA standards for organic land care. And because if you guys watched that first initial video, the word organic isn't owned by anybody when it comes to landscaping. It's not regulated. And so that's one of the reasons why we wrote the standards for organic land care, 25 years ago, so that we could have a definition of what organic means in landscaping and then a credential to go along with it. Because, anybody can say they're an organic landscaper. So without any sort of credential or sort of, organization that's behind them, then they don't really know what's happening. It's like you could be putting down anything, calling yourself organic. So at least if a client sees, okay, they have that credential from NOFA, then they know they should be following a set of standards that are laid out and publicly laid out. So that's sort of the process of the course. I apologize you weren't able to get into it, but I'll make sure you're able to get into it tonight. Any other questions? Comments?
Yes, I was wondering about reaccreditation.
Yep.
If you let your accreditation lapse, what happens? Can you reaccredit, or if
So you can let it lapse for up to 2 years. After that, you have to take an exam, and it's like an actual exam to reaccredit. So 1 year, you let it lapse 1 year, fine. 2 years, fine. After the 2 years, then you have to take an exam to become reaccredited.
Okay, and what's the reaccreditation fee? When
So the
it's,
reaccreditation fee is it's free this year because you're taking the course. So next December it'll end up being it's $110 per year for reaccredit
okay,
and 4 continuing education hours.
okay,
Now I'll explain this a little bit, the reaccreditation hours, because it's a little confusing to people. You know, because we have so many different types of AOLCPs, you know, I think we have them in like 30 states at this point. We don't really keep track of what's going on in every state. So we sort of leave it up to you to decide what education is best for you and your work. As long as it's pertinent to your work and pertinent to, you know, organic landscaping, sustainable landscaping, then that's fine. What will happen is each April we do a credit audit of, I think it's like 50 or 60% of our landscapers. So we just randomly choose 50% of AOLCPs. And then we reach out to them and say, you know, can you, do a quick credit audit? You know, what did you go to this last year? And then we'll work with you to figure out which ones count for credits. And if you don't have anything, then we can give you an extension and we can sort of suggest things you can take. So in essence, you only submit your CEUs if you're asked of them, if you're part of that audit. Then you could say, yeah, I went to this conference, I did this training. And you can also double dip credits. So if you have, you know, for like ISA credits, those can be used for us. ASLA credits can be used for us. Anything with ELA, Ecological Landscape Alliance, is good for credits. Oh, and I should also say the reaccreditation fee comes with all, you know, if you're an AOLCP, then that also comes with a listing on our guide site, which is just, you know, basically a big map of the United States. You click on the state you want and the county, and the services you want, so clients can find services in their area. So we can put that up for you if you like that. And also the fee also comes with, you know, all of our advanced workshops are free if you're an AOLCP. So you can attend those throughout the year for free, and then discounts on, we have a yearly conference that's happening next week. So that comes with a discount and things like that. But all advanced workshops throughout the year are free if you're an AOLCP. Any more questions, comments, concerns? Didn't have too much to cover tonight. I just want to make sure everyone was able to get into the class and sort of walk you through a couple of things.
I actually had a question on the Teachable thing.
Yeah.
I was able to access everything on my browser, my web browser, but I downloaded an app that's also called Teachable. Is it related to the same thing, or is that something different?
You should be able to access it. Teachable does have an app. You should be able to access it on there as well.
Okay, I tried
to sign in.
Yeah, I tried to use the login information that I used on my browser, and it wasn't working. So maybe I just messed up, but I can try again.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I know at one point I had, when we were first putting together, I downloaded the app and it was working. I'll look into it as well. Maybe it's a certain app, maybe the different people app or something. But it wasn't working at the time. Okay, you should be able to use the app.
Jeremy, I have a question.
Yep.
When we're through with this class, will we be able to reference this course again? I mean, as far as
Yep, you'll have access to it pretty much indefinitely.
Okay.
I will say we do have plans on updating the recordings, so we'll have different recordings on there at some point this year.
Okay.
You'll be able to access that as well. Any other questions? And feel free to email me too if you if you have anything pressing. I'll try to get my email for the next month and a half. These courses. If that is everything, again, feel free to just unmute yourself, ask a question if you'd like. But if that's everything, I'll stay on for, another however long if people want to head out. But I'll stick around here for a little bit while longer if anyone wants to have some more questions. But other than that, I just wanted to welcome you guys all, make sure everyone is able to access the course and has what they need. So it was nice seeing you all here, and I will see you at one of the live sessions.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Jeremy, I do have one question on the Teachable login. Is the password the pre-registered password for accessing the Teachable login?
So the Teachable thing is super annoying. You have to, so you register with us, then you got to re-register with Teachable, and on Teachable, it's gonna say like, oh, it's $500, but you type in a pre-registered code,
Right.
and that knocks it to $0 to just get you in Teachable. I haven't found a way around it yet.
Okay.
But it's gonna want you to make your own login.
Yeah, I must have missed that step. I didn't see that, so I got to do that.
So register like you're paying for the course. It's a little scary
Yeah.
because I already paid for this. But when you type in pre-registered, all caps, then it'll knock it.
Right. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
So try that. Let me know if you have any trouble. I know it's one of those things that just super annoying.
No, I can manage it. Thank you.
Yep.
I did check my junk mail and I didn't have anything. So
Nothing. So right where in fact, if you want to stick around for a little bit, I'll send you and what else am I missing? You and Kristen. I'll send
Kristen,
Okay, great. Thank you.
the email right now. So just give me 1 second. And if anybody else in the meantime has a question, I am here. Feel free to ask. Okay, so Kristen and Laura. Let's see. Registration. Okay, so this is just gonna make a copy and paste. Kristen, just so I don't have to open another tab, I'm sorry. What is your email?
Sure. It's Kristen, Kristin, at Molloy, MOLLOY, landscape.com.
Okay. And then Laura, what's your email?
WAWASEMP@MSN.com.
Okay. So let me actually update your email because that doesn't look familiar to me and it's not coming up in my email.
Yeah, I don't know what you have.
Yeah, let me just fix that.
Could be a Gmail address or a Pumpkin Brook Organic Gardening.
WAWASEMP@MSN.com. But you got the email to that this evening, right?
Yeah, let me see. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can tell how you sent it. Let's see.
Well, that's okay. I can, I'll send it to you right now.
Oh. Oh, you blind copied it anyway, right? Probably.
I blind copied it. And some people have that block, so it may never went through. Course info. Okay, so, it is in your. It is in your inbox. Should be.
Oh, there you are. Let's see. No. Okay, let's see. There you are. Okay, excellent. Excellent, thank you. So that'll get me into, this will get me into Teachables.
Yes, just follow the link and then follow the instructions. You have the Dropbox link there as well, which it gives you.
Okay, yep.
You know,
Okay.
PowerPoints and different resources.
Excellent.
Kristen, did you get it as well? Not yet. Kristen at Molloy, MOLLOY landscape.com. KRISTIN.
I just got it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
So go ahead and check that out. If you have any trouble, either give me a call or email me. I want to make sure you guys are able to get in right away.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So-
And then just as a precaution, Teachable can be a little confusing. Just get in there, put in the pre-registered. Once you're in, it's fine, but it's signing up. They just make it difficult to do. It doesn't take long. You just have to keep an eye on what you're doing.
Be patient.
Be patient. Exactly. If you have any trouble, we can jump on Zoom again, and I can sort of share my screen and walk you through it as well.
So tomorrow night, there's a session 1 live session. Is that
tomorrow? Hold on, let me look at this.
It says session 1, site design and analysis.
Oh, okay. So the sessions are, the calendar, we just made like a sample calendar because there's a lot of sessions. So you can do it you can watch them all tonight if you want to, but it's just, if you wanted to follow sort of like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to do this, Tuesday I'm going to do this, just to give yourself some. Yeah.
So am I to assume that all of these sessions are all in this Teachable?
Yes, everything's in the
And
Teachable.
then you view them when you want to, but if you want to go live and be with the instructor, you can chat with the instructor.
Exactly. So those are for the instructors. I'll send out emails saying, hey, live session tonight. Here's a Zoom link. See you then. I'll do that by email.
Okay, but I can do that tomorrow during the day. And if I'm okay with everything, I don't need to go to the live, or if I just want to.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All righty.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.